They wouldn't eat it until the king made it illegal. This humble tuber, this unremarkable spud, once sparked a nationwide panic, toppled a government, and changed the course of European history. Yes, dear viewer, a mere potato orchestrated one of history's greatest agricultural deceptions. Let's wind the clock back to Prussia, 1774, where a king's obsession became a nation's delusion, and where the potato proved that sometimes the most powerful weapon is a simple vegetable. Ah, the potato. Today, it's the backbone of comfort foods across the globe, from golden French fries to creamy mash. But in 18th century Europe, it was viewed with suspicion and fear. You see, when the potato first arrived from the Americas, Europeans weren't impressed. It grows underground? Must be the devil's work, they declared. Some believed it caused leprosy. Others insisted it promoted lust, which between you and me would have made for much more interesting dinner parties. But one man saw beyond these superstitions, Frederick the Great of Prussia. Frederick wasn't your average king. Military genius, flute enthusiast, and, as it happens, Europe's most determined potato promoter. Why such passion for potatoes? Simple: war. Prussia was constantly at war, and Frederick needed a crop that could feed his people even when armies trampled the wheat fields. The potato, which grew safely underground, was the perfect solution. One small problem: his people absolutely refused to eat it. Frederick first tried logic, explaining the potato's benefits. That failed. He tried ordering his subjects to grow potatoes. They ignored him. Frustration mounting, Frederick considered more theatrical methods. And that, dear viewer, is when Frederick the Great became Frederick the Cunning. In 1774, Frederick established the Royal Potato Field on the outskirts of Berlin. He ordered his soldiers to guard this field day and night, making a grand show of protecting these precious vegetables. The guards had strict instructions: be visible, be vigilant, but be deliberately ineffective. You see, Frederick understood human nature. Tell someone they can't have something, and suddenly they want nothing more than to have it. The peasants, naturally curious about these heavily guarded vegetables, began to wonder, what was so special about these potatoes that the king himself deemed them worthy of royal protection? As Frederick had calculated, the locals soon began sneaking into the fields at night, stealing the valuable potatoes to plant in their own gardens. The guards, following orders, pretended not to notice these thefts. Within months, potato cultivation spread across Prussia like wildfire. The peasants believed they were outsmarting their king, stealing a royal delicacy. In reality, they were unwitting participants in one of history's greatest agricultural cons. Frederick's potato trickery worked so well that within years, the potato became a staple crop throughout Prussia. When famine struck in 1774 to 1775, the potato saved countless lives, exactly as Frederick had planned. But here's where history takes a fascinating turn. Frederick's potato deception had consequences far beyond Prussia's borders. In neighboring France, potatoes were still viewed with suspicion. The French watched as Prussia thrived during famines that devastated their own country. King Louis XVI took note and soon employed a pharmacist named Antoine-Augustin Parmentier to promote potatoes in France. Parmentier, inspired by Frederick's success, staged his own elaborate potato promotion. He hosted lavish dinners where every dish contained potatoes, invited the king and queen, and, yes, also created guarded potato fields to trick the French into stealing them. Imagine that! A second nation fooled by the exact same potato trick, this time with flowers. Potato flowers adorning Marie Antoinette's hair at royal gatherings. But while Frederick's potato ruse strengthened Prussia, France's potato adoption came too late. The food shortages continued, contributing to the unrest that eventually sparked the French Revolution in 1789. One kingdom saved by the potato trick, another toppled despite it. The humble spud had shown its power to shape nations. The potato's influence didn't end there. During the Irish potato famine of the 1840s, Prussia and much of Germany, with their diversified potato cultivation, suffered far less than Ireland, which had become dependent on a single potato variety. Frederick's deception had unintentionally prepared his nation for agricultural challenges nearly a century later. A single clever trick had altered the course of European agriculture forever. This unassuming tuber, born in the Andes Mountains, rejected across Europe, then elevated to royal status through an elaborate hoax, demonstrates a timeless truth. Sometimes the greatest revolutions aren't won with swords or speeches, but with psychology and patience. By understanding human nature, our curiosity, our desire for the forbidden, Frederick transformed a nation's diet without firing a single shot. The potato didn't just feed Prussia, it taught rulers a valuable lesson in the art of persuasion. And what of the potato today? It's the world's fourth largest food crop, with over 5,000 varieties. From German potato dumplings to American French fries, Russian vodka to Indian aloo gobi, the potato has infiltrated kitchens worldwide. All because one king understood that the secret to changing minds isn't force, it's making people believe the change was their idea all along. Frederick's potato deception succeeded because he worked with human nature rather than against it. And perhaps that's the most valuable lesson in this tale. Sometimes the path to progress isn't through rules and regulations, but through understanding what makes people tick. But the potato isn't the only common food with uncommon origins. Next time you enjoy a plate of pasta, ask yourself this: was Marco Polo telling the truth about finding noodles in China? Or was the beloved Italian staple hiding a secret far more sinister, involving forbidden knowledge, ancient codes, and a desperate attempt to hide the truth from the Vatican? The answer might not be what you expect. Until next time, I'm Professor Cogsworth, reminding you that in the culinary annals of history, every bite has a backstory.